Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Shredthology, episode 10. Today we've got a pretty sweet episode. We're going to talk about Maryhill. What about Maryhill specifically? Well, kind of everything and nothing, and then something all at once. No, we're going to talk about free rides, what you can expect at a free ride, what it's like to be at a free ride, what's up with pack runs at Maryhill, how do you skate Maryhill pack runs, the tools of the trade to skate Maryhill. We'll talk about some hike days that us people from the PNW have attended and what's up with those, and we'll talk about some races that have happened there that I have been to, and which ones I thought were the best. Alright, before we get into all things Maryhill, I just wanted to tell you guys about some things that have been on my radar lately with skateboarding down hills. Firstly, the Good Vibe Tribe crew and myself went out to Lincoln City on the coast. Lincoln City is pretty popular around these parts. It's got some really nice scenic vistas that you could go and skate hills down near. In this video, Coastal Comeback by Good Vibe Tribe that I think will stoke you out. Really cool hairpin next to the beach, really sweet buttery paved, big lefty corner in the neighborhoods around Lincoln City, and a couple local spots. Shout out to Freedom Smith and CJ Young for showing us around and always giving us a rad time on our skateboards down in Lincoln City. You can check out the video, Coastal Comeback, in the link below. And shout outs to Dreamland Skate Park for making such a gnarly fucking skate park in Lincoln City. If you ever had the chance to go to Lincoln City Skate Park, I highly recommend it. It is insane. It's got a super sick bowl. It's got a super sick cradle bowl. It's got a snake run that ends in a giant bowl. It's got a downhill Hot Wheels track that ends in a giant quarter pipe, and some mini quarters as well to just derp around on, and a pool and a DIY spot and a pretty cool street section. It's got it all. So much skatable terrain at Lincoln City Skate Park. I highly recommend going and check it out. But yeah, went back to that fucking snake run and conquered that bitch the other day. So yeah, fuck yeah. Dreamland Skate Park's killing it. Something else that is pretty dope that I wanted to tell you guys about, that you probably might have seen, is Louis Poloni is on the Arbor Skateboards team. His welcome to the team video came out, and holy shit was it good. Epic skating, flow for days, such good style and creativity, just ripping this sick blacktop run surrounded by big ass boulders and just doing what Louis does best, which is just slide through everything and have a good time. And really shout out to Louis Poloni for just like keeping it steezy and keeping it skateboarding and rad for as long as he has, and he continues to push the game and do some really cool unique tricks on skateboarding. Louis has been on Sector 9 for the longest time, and to think of Sector 9 without Louis Poloni, it's kind of nuts. With Louis leaving Sector 9, like, it just kind of makes you think, like, maybe Sector 9's downhill division is no more, or maybe they're just waiting until they get back into the height of downhill skating again. But hey, the guys over at Arbor are stoked. They're there to help him out and put him on the team and get him some boards and have him just continue to throw down. Louis has been killing it, from working with Sector 9 for so long and making that downhill division what it is, and throwing Angie's Curves downhill race, which is arguably one of the most gnarly downhill races ever in the United States. And also just like being a huge part of Skatehouse media and just building longboarding to what it is today, thanks to that intense passion of his to be showing the world what's up with his homies and his skate crew in Malibu. So yeah, fucking rad. Louis Poloni on Arbor. What the fuck? Linked Media has come out with a 2020 supercut, kind of showing all the bangers that he got. Clips in here of just people doing insane stuff on skateboards. Some of the most gnarly Malibu runs I've ever seen. You know it's gonna be good when dude walks up to the camera before his run and says, "I love you, Mom." Oh man. Yes, mobbing down this run at sunset on what appears to be a slalom board, really just careening down the edge of this hill at hyper speed. Damn, this really makes me want to skate Malibu. God, someone spirit me away to Malibu so I can skate, please. Oh my God. I need some Malibu in my life. Go watch this video. If you're looking for a cool video to watch to get you hyped to go skate, give this one a watch. Linked Media 2020 Vision. I get it. 2020 Vision. Yeah, it's a funny video. The beginning was like super gospel. You know, I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what am I listening to? And then it just like starts dropping hammers, and I'm just like, all right, well, here we go. Downhill skateboarding in a nutshell. Just people are unique in downhill skateboarding, man. They're fucking unique people. Okay, let's get on to the meats of this episode. Y'all, we're talking about Maryhill tonight. So for those that don't know, Maryhill is a road in Goldendale, Washington, in the Pacific Northwest, that a pretty scenic and iconic road. This road was created by a guy named Sam Hill, and he basically wanted to bring roads and automobiles and change the transportation game in downhill driving in the Pacific Northwest. So he built up this road and laid just this awesome track of asphalt down this mountain he found, and tried to make every turn different so that he could test what would happen to a car if it tried to take these corners, and if it could even take those corners. No corner is the same at Maryhill. It's perfect blacktop pavement. It's seen better days, but it's pretty much perfect. Now, it's a museum, and somehow Dino and the Maryhill Ratz found a way to convince the Maryhill Museum to let them rent it out and shuttle skaters and lugers and drift trikers and rollerbladers up and down it all day long for 3 weekends a year to just skate their brains out on this super scenic road. Yeah, we're hoping to see some more Maryhill Freerides in the future, hopefully fall. So, with that in mind, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little insight into my interpretation of the Maryhill Freerides, Maryhill in itself, and what it's like to skate there and be there and all the fun stuff. Now, Maryhill Freerides happen in April, in June, and in September. And there's usually a race in July. This year, the Spring Freeride, which was supposed to be happening in the third weekend of April, will not be happening, but that's the one everyone wants to go to because the winds are whipping up the most at that spot around the Spring Freeride. So when you go to a Spring Freeride, you can expect huge turnout. Some of the top racers and riders in the world show up just to get those tailwinds, and an insane amount of setups that you've never even thought of being made, and skate nerds everywhere. Maryhill Freerides are really like a skate nerd heaven because you can just go there and find out whatever you want about skateboarding stuff, talk about skateboarding stuff, and really just like be with your people of nerd skateboarding isms. I remember one time I went there and I was trying to figure out how to dial in my bushings. Oh yeah, I remember that. One of the first times. And I didn't really know what color bushings meant, but my buddy Greg had a bag full of bushings, and he's like, hey, you can try some of these bushings and see what you like. I was riding Ronin Katanas at the time, and the thing about riding downhill trucks is you're going so fast, and everyone is different shape and size, so you really need to kind of find out what bushings you need to make your ride work the way you want. And it's all personal preference, of course, but You have to do it a lot more than, say, people who street skate or park skate, where you just might throw in some fresh urethane or buy some stock bushings with their trucks and just say, fuck it, I'm not going to worry about it. Now, with downhill, it's like life or death if you don't dial your setup. So, needless to say, I was trying to dial my shit. I'm looking through this bag of bushings and I was like, Greg, I think I need something around the 80, 82 range. You got anything like that? And he's like, I don't know. They're all different colors, but I have this bushing durometer reading, like, device. And I was like, okay, that sounds easy enough to use. Let me see it. So he hands me this little, like, claw-like device that pinches urethane, and then you push a button and it tells you the durometer. So it's a durometer reader. That was pretty awesome. I didn't know that existed. So I just started clamping bushings and pushing the button, and then found, oh, this one's 80. This is what I need. Okay. And yeah, dialed in my setup, started riding, and the rest was history. I just found out what I liked, and now every time I go to Maryhill, I kind of skate the same thing, and just I found the tool for the job, and I'll get more into that later. People are just like giving out swag and giving out bushings and wheels and just saying like, here, try these fresh wheels, here, try these bushings, here, try my setup, try these trucks, try this board. Like, here, want to ride my drift trike? Hey, want to ride my luge? Like, everyone's just so in your face about getting you to try new shit that they like, and it's so sick because you're just like there to have a good time, and you're learning through experience of all this awesome shit. Like, I remember one year I went there, and Brad Miller of Riptide was there, and I was like, Brad, hey, you're from Riptide, right? Can you help me find some bushings, man? And he was just like, okay, what do you need? And I was like, this is what's happening to me. I'm like leaning too much, and I'm starting to like wobble in the deep lean and bottom out, and like everything just gets sketchy. I can't hold it together. And it's like, sure, here you go. And he just hands me like a chubby, like a fat, super soft bushing. And he's like, put that in your board side, and it should be good. Put it in, and it works like a charm. Just like every time I take a really sharp, hard corner, I'm just super supported, just hanging there. But I'm getting all the turn and soft like response that I like, but I'm not having that like that edge where I just fall. I'm just like really supported and just chilling. And I'm like, dude, you just opened my mind to what is possible with bushings. It's like, holy crap. So you can imagine after going to a few Maryhills and seeing what people ride, like you really get the skate nerd kind of invades and kind of makes you kind of start thinking about stuff. People are selling shit at Maryhill, shit that makes you have more fun, shit that's just like, oh, like, I guess riding down a hill and seeing hella different colors and the road turning into some sort of rainbow piano music note thing is what I really needed to enjoy this hill in a new way. Skate Maryhill how you want, it's fun. And yeah, let's talk about pack runs. So if you've been to a Maryhill Spring Freeride or a Maryhill Freeride, you've probably seen packs of about 20, 30 skaters all dropping in at once. The Venom skate team is pretty notorious for being deep in the packs. They really like to get sendy with it. They'll be on slalom boards, trying to pass as many people as possible, touching butts, rubbing shoulders, rubbing wheels, really just having so much input around them as they're doing this that it's just kind of like second nature to them. I want to talk about how to do a pack run and what makes it kind of work. So first and foremost, if you haven't skated Maryhill or you haven't skated around a lot of people before, you probably shouldn't be skating a pack run at Maryhill. Generally, my rule of thumb is if I've skated Maryhill, at least like 2 free rides, and I'm able to look at someone skating and kind of know how they're gonna move and know when someone is like on top of their shit, that's when I'll drop into the pack. Like, okay, I'm not gonna drop into a pack of people I know are notorious for being sketchy and doing stupid shit. Like, I wanted to drop in with a pack that's like of dialed riders. So like, shit happens, of course, but you know, I'm just gonna try to drop into a pack with people who are leathered up, and I've been seeing dropping into packs all day, and maybe have a cool demeanor and aren't really like fanboying out or losing their minds over shit. Just people who look like they've got it together. Those are generally the people I like to skate with in packs. It really is all reactionary. Just kind of become one with your board and move in ways which are intuitive. And pick your line, dedicate yourself to that line. If someone's in front of you and you need to get around them, or put your hand on them and move them in a non-disruptive way so that you don't hit them. And that might even be something as small as like giving them a speed boost so you don't run into them, or pushing them a little bit so that you kind of like can change your line so that you can navigate around them. And generally not air brake in front of a whole pack. Like passing a bunch of people and air braking is just not really the move. If you're gonna drop into a pack run, you've got to be ready to just like kind of send it the whole way and really just rolling the dice on that one. Kind of, yep, this is what I'm doing. I'm going balls to the wall. If I make it to the bottom, there'll be hugs and high fives, and if I crash, then hopefully I don't eat shit too bad and it doesn't hurt. But stuff happens at Maryhill. First one that comes to mind is Trey's Maryhill Freeride. Send It for Trey was the free ride where Trey Weston Dunham, he was a skater from the Pacific Northwest, and he unexpectedly passed away from cancer. And Trey would always go to Maryhills and buy people who have never been entries so that they could skate it too. And he was just a really generous character, really all about spreading the rice and spreading the stoke, and they dedicated a Maryhill to him. And they had one run at this event that was called the Trey's Run, which someone thought it would be a good idea to have everyone drop in at once, like everybody. So that might have been the largest pack run ever at Maryhill. I remember thinking, okay, this is actually happening. Everyone's dropping in, like, maybe I should go at the back, maybe I should go in the middle, maybe I should go in the front. I don't know. By the time I was done thinking all this stuff, already about a quarter of the people had dropped in. So I'm waiting for my moment. Something clicks in my brain and I'm like, it's time, we're going, dropping. So I jump in there. I realize like all the people around me are like Portland homies. So I'm like, okay, sick. Good way to start. I know who I'm skating with. This is on. So I'm jumping in the pack, just trying to like handle my shit, and just like seeing people like fly past me and I'm flying past people. I'm just trying to like stay in the road, navigate, just make it down safe. That's like the goal, everyone make it down to the bottom. This run's for Trey. That didn't happen. It's coming around maybe the first never-ending left, and I'm already seeing people flying off the road and eating shit. I go down into spaghetti. So many people go into that first left after spaghetti and just like fly into the hay bales, and I'm just like dodging carnage. Like, I've never seen so many people eat shit in a run, and I'm just like trying to dodge people, see someone crash out of the rear view mirror, like fucking veer into somebody, like try not to make them eat shit. I'm handling it. About everyone I'd recognized at one point or another died on this run, and I was just like, I hope you're watching, Trey, because this is the funniest shit ever. It was my first fall free ride. It was the last run of the whole weekend, and wasn't that many people still left skating at the end, but found myself on last run up at the top, and my homie Nico from Hawaii and his buddy from Hawaii and Byron are like up there, and I'm like, what up guys? And they're like, yeah, what up dude? Yeah, like, we're gonna get this shit, you want to drop in? And we're like, fuck yeah. So drop in with these three dudes, and we're just like surfing down Maryhill, like touching grass as we're flying around corners, just like carving back and forth, like giving each other boosts and like slingshots and shit. It's sunset. It's like the most sunset slidery fucking run at Maryhill I've ever had. And it was just so sick skating with Nico and the Hawaii homie and Byron, like just mobbing all the way down, having such a good time, such a chill run. That was just like, damn, that was memorable. It's like, have that to like send off your skate season with like three memorable dudes with just like the most style was just like, yes, so good, so good. I don't know if you know this, but one of the most fun ways to skate down Maryhill is on a Comet Cruiser. And I'll tell you why. Because you slide, and you slide some more, and then you slide a lot. So that being said, if you are taking a run like this, you definitely don't want to drop in with the big boys in the packs. Unless you're Tim Smith and you've got Kegels on your cruiser, then by all means, send it. But for me, I usually go in the back. I'm chilling. I'm drifting around. I'm having fun. I'm just sliding around. I'm about a quarter of the way down. I look behind me, and I see a pack of drift trikes. And I was like, oh shit. And they're like, you know, I'm sliding around. I'm keeping my speed. And they're kind of like not really getting closer to me, but they're like keeping their speed. So I'm like, dude, let's fucking join in. Let's like merge our crews. So drift trikes, well, I let them catch up to me, and then I get in there, and I just start sliding when they're drifting their trikes, and I'm in the pack of the drift trikes, sliding around as they're drifting, and I'm like grabbing on their bike, getting slung, and like just sliding next to them as they're drifting. It was the sickest shit. Like just like stand-up Comet Cruiser free ride slide run with the drift trikers at Maryhill in a pack. That was just insane. Made it all the way down to the bottom. Like they're all fucking hyped. Like it was such a good run. I'm so stoked that happened. It was just like one of those Maryhill moments that just like lines up and everything's just like so good. And it was just like, oh man, I don't know if I'll be able to recreate a moment like that. It was so fun. But yeah, if you want to have a good time, bring Comet Cruisers to Maryhill and let's make some Comet Cruisers Slidey Boy runs happen. It'd be fun. Some of the gnarliest bails I've seen at Maryhill, or had myself. What would an episode of Shredthology be without talking about the Hall of Meat? I've seen some pretty bad bails at Maryhill. One that comes to mind was Sam Hoffman. You've probably seen the video. He's coming into Cowsers, which is a big right corner with a berm wall. The Sam Hoffman basically full speed slap the wall and land in the hay. And he was okay, but god damn, that looked painful. Another really gnarly crash I saw at Maryhill was at the Maryhill Festival of Speed in 2015. Mike Fitter was coming around leading his heat in a race in 110-degree weather into Cowsers, and he was trying to grip the corner, and his grip tape came off his board. So apparently the heat and fresh grip tape don't really go hand in hand when you're doing a downhill race. So you heard it here first, folks. If you need to put fresh grip tape on your board, don't do it in 110-degree weather, and don't do it on a race day. You know, maybe figure that shit out before you go down a race heat, because yeah, dude literally slipped off his board with the grip tape still under his feet, and it was pretty fucking crazy. Another really unfortunate crash I saw at Maryhill. It was the Maryhill Showdown at the Loops, which was the first race that the Maryhill Ratz threw after the Maryhill Festival of Speed ended. I was on Cowsers, kind of hanging out, watching, taking photos, and I see Dino coming around the corner. He's got his shit together, but something happened, and right when he started to like turn into Cowsers, he gets launched and just flies like 8 feet off of his board, gets high-sided, and just slaps and rolls, and then slides. That was the crash where Dino broke his hip, and I really wish I didn't see that happen, but I did. And god damn, Dino, I'm glad you recovered, man. It was so hard to watch you like hobbling around and not skating at the Maryhill events. I hope that's feeling good. Check out yoga. It's dope. Don't want to tell you how to live your life, bro, but yoga is amazing. It heals. Another pretty crazy crash I saw. They were wearing a onesie, and it was taking place during one of the famous onesie runs at Maryhill. Onesie runs are where everyone kind of brings out like an animal-themed onesie, and they take a pack run. So you just see a bunch of animals skating down Maryhill. It's as awesome as it sounds. Someone was filming from a corner, and you just see this this little girl in a cow onesie, or maybe it was a Dalmatian, something with white and black spots, just like crash into the hay bale and flip over and fly off a cliff. And you hear like a yip, and she's gone. Yeah, I watched that on loop for about 10 times on that video. Yeah, like, she was apparently fine. Like, I don't know if she had leathers on under her onesie, hopefully, but yeah, if you go over the hay bales and fly off a cliff at Maryhill and you're fine, count your lucky stars, because that shit is insane. Yeah, Canadians, they know how to have a good time at Maryhill. If you ever get to skate with Canadians, do it. It's fun. How do you know what Canadians look like? They're probably drinking caribou. So one time I was skating Maryhill with a slalom board, coming into Cowsers, full tuck. My friend Marcy's behind me, and she's on a normal board, and I'm pretty much just like wobbling, death wobbling through the corner. And I'm like, cool, I'm gonna die. I'm turning left, and then my wheels break free, and I go down into a Coleman slide, and I'm sliding. Turn around, and Marcy is face in my face, and she clipped me from behind and flew over me and did like a somersault across all of Cowsers. And yeah, not sure what the problem there was, but I fucked up, she got fucked up, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sorry, Marcy. I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad you're still skating. Please skate with me again. It'll never happen again. Another bad bail I was up there during the G ride, which is the the summer free ride that happens. And I'm taking a chill run. You know how those go. Skating down the hill, carving around, having fun. All right, I'm gonna start tucking. I'm gonna go fast. Yeah. Coming into spaghetti, and I look up and I see someone just Jesus carving from edge to edge of the road, across the whole road. And I'm like, cool. I've never had this experience before. Let's see how it goes. So we're coming into the big left after spaghetti, and for whatever reason, I thought I read him the right way, and he dove inside and I dove outside. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just hang out on the outside and I'll take the inside line on the next right. So I'm on the outside of the corner, and then of course dude carves right into me from the side, and I go down. He's fine, he keeps riding. I go down to my butt and lose a large amount of skin. Now that was cool because this was the first day of a skate trip to Giant's Head, which I was gonna go up with the Subsonic crew, skate Giant's Head for a couple days. So needless to say, I had meat ass for 5 days, and I had saran wrap and Dave's hippie oil, and it was so bad. And then I fell on that in the rain at Giant's Head. It always rains at least one day when you go to Giant's Head in the middle of June in the summer. And yeah, first day it rained, and I was like, I'm gonna get my runs. I skate in the rain all the time. I'm from Portland. Fuck yeah. And then I fell on my butt, on my ass rash. And then I like stuck my hand down my pants to see what was up and pulled out a bunch of meat. And I was like, I'm in danger. I need to go to the ER like right the fuck now. So luckily, at all these events, they've got really rad medic crews. Maryhill has some cool medic crews. They helped me out. And then I went to Giant's Head, and they had a cool medic crew, and they were not as stoked, but they helped me out too, because they were like, what the fuck are you doing skating with an already injured butt? I'll tell you what I was doing. I was getting my goddamn money's worth at Giant's Head. That's what I was doing. Yeah, those are some of the crashes that I've had at Maryhill, and I hope never to have one again. That being said, one of the keys to skate Maryhill, in which I will tell you in the next segment, the tools of how to skate Maryhill. Let's start with that one. Leathers. Bring leathers to Maryhill. Skate in leathers at Maryhill. If you don't, you're going to have to spend $20 to tip out the medics so they don't have to deal with your ass and you're covered in road rash. I'm really, really ready to like go back to a Maryhill spring free ride, pack up, get on my leather game, get on my Comet Orbiter, and just get in the pack and have a great fucking time without any worries about ash rash, road rash. Knock on wood this whole episode, because it's gonna be one of those episodes. And Yeah, so leathers, do that. If you don't have leathers, bring a full face because you can't skate the hill without a full face, but you can without leathers. Knee pads are cool. There are two boards which I will always skate at Maryhill, and that's pretty much the only thing I'm ever going to skate at Maryhill again, aside from Comet Cruiser. So there's three boards. One Comet Cruiser. Second board, a slalom downhill board. What constitutes a slalom downhill board? Usually a board anywhere between 30 and 35 inches long, with a wheelbase anywhere from 20 to 24 inches long. And usually you want to have it around 22 inches. You want to have slalom trucks, which goes to say trucks that are anywhere from 110 to 130 millimeters. And you want to have the front wedged to 50 degrees and the back wedged to about 20 degrees. Now, that's not hard to do since most slalom trucks you buy that are precision come with split degrees already. So I think the slalom boards work because with how wide the hangers are from edge to edge and how much millimeter of wheel there is in comparison to the hanger, it just gives you a more immediate response and also brings in your ability to make sharper turns at more pinpoint precise motions because of that narrow hanger, but also since the wheels are so grippy and so wide comparably to the truck and the board, you just have more kind of meat to dig into and you're going to be turning more. So that being said, you just have more control, and it's really something you have to experience by feeling. I've often said that with a slalom board, any line becomes possible and any line becomes your line at Maryhill. So I would highly recommend trying one out if you ever get a chance. And yeah, they're just the way to do it, in my opinion, especially in packs. Like, they just make skating in packs so much safer. You can, move a little bit to get out of the way and not have to make such big drastic movements, which can fuck you up and fuck everyone up who is in your proximity. Another thing that I really like to skate at Maryhill is a giant drop deck, like Demon Seed 42-inch board with a big drop right at top mount. Put a sick tail on it and we'll call it a day. One of my most favorite races that's ever happened at Maryhill was a 28-inch plus wheelbase race. I had no business racing, but I had my Demon Seed and I wanted to throw down. So we all line up on the starting line for a Chinese downhill 28-inch plus race. Everyone drops in. I'm trying to keep up with people. I'm just tucking as hard as I can. Luckily my board weighed a ton, so that gave me a lot of speed and I could actually keep up with people a little bit. I'm kind of drafting this dude who's got a board that is about 55 inches long. So his back truck is about a foot from my front truck. And I'm trying to touch him to kind of push him a little bit so that I don't run into the front of his board or the back of his board. And I can't touch him because his board's so long. So I just had to kind of dip out of there and get away, which kind of fucked up my line. So him and a couple of other dudes zip off. I'm still in 5th, 6th place. I get passed by my homie John, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna take this corner and I'm gonna fucking tuck through the straight. I'm gonna gain everybody. I'm gonna draft through the repeaters, and it's gonna be good. Coming to the left, and there is just carnage everywhere. Everyone's just laid out in the street. I see John thread the needle in front of me, and he's gone. And I'm just like, that's the line. So I thread the needle through all of my homies who are just in pain, lumps of meat on the road, and I somehow make it through. Ended up getting a 2nd place, but there's no prize for 2nd place in a Chinese downhill. So John ended up winning, but it was so much fun just to be able to survive that moment. Gave me a lot of confidence in skating Maryhill. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do this thing. Just gonna keep at it. See you guys. Comet Cruiser, slalom board / Comet Orbiter. and big ass drop board. Those are my tools for the job. So here's my slalom board that I ride at Maryhill. It is a about 34-inch board with real narrow hangers and some risers, some deep wheel cutouts, and a short wheelbase with a nice big footstop and grippy grip. This is a great tool from Maryhill. I can just jump on this board and ride the hill how it was meant to be skated, just taking every line that I need to whenever I want. Be super nimble. I'm able to navigate the packs and just kind of be where I want to be on the road at a moment's notice, which I really enjoy. Soft bushings in the front, hard bushings in the back, 50 degrees up front, 20 degrees in the back. Got some slidey wheels on there right now just to have some fun. But yeah, gonna put some grippy boys on when I go to Maryhill for sure. So this board is a little bit longer than your average slalom downhill board, which is why I like it, because I'm kind of a taller dude. So this is like my go-to size. Like if I ripped this at Maryhill, I'd be pretty fucking stoked. So yeah, that's what I do. One-stop shop for that one. Okay, let's talk about hike days. So if you live in the Pacific Northwest and you make the trip out to Maryhill, you can pretty much hike it whenever you want. I've had some really nice hike days, especially during the winter. Basically, the wind is a little bit harder and a little bit faster during the winter time. It's not super hot, so you don't get sweaty. And the hike up gets you nice and warm. And you can just like hang out with your friends, toss back some brewskis or some yerbs, and then just talk and shoot the shit while hiking up the hill and rip down and have a real good time in your own little personal pack. You can do that a couple times a day. Usually I think we make around 5 laps. And Maryhill has some shortcuts, so you can actually just walk straight up. You don't actually have to follow the road the whole way. Yeah, hike days in the Pacific Northwest are like a staple. If you don't hike in the Maryhill Loops Road during the year, like kind of missing out on living in the Pacific Northwest. It's definitely a luxury living up here, having that. All right, let's talk about races. Maryhill has been having some races for a long time. I kind of came to the game a little late. 2013, I think, was my first year kind of being a part of racing and going to races. So 2015 was my first Maryhill race. And this was actually the last year of the Festival of Speed. I was going up there with some people from Idaho, the Wilkinsons, and we were going to go to Maryhill Festival of Speed. They were racing. I was just trying to link up with some people to get a ride from Maryhill to Giants Head Freeride. The weather was insanely hot, but it was such a cool experience just seeing people from all over the world come together to race Maryhill. That's what the Maryhill races are. It's a world-class track that's just drawing people from all over the world to come and skate and hang out, and just it's a real melting pot of cultures and skateboarding culture, and you get to experience some really cool things and meet some really cool people. That being said, they built a skate ramp at the hill. Stryker was on the mic at Cowsers just like telling the people what was good with the racing. It was super hot. People were getting some hot laps, and yeah, all my like idols were there skating. Like I got to meet Kevin Reimer, I got to meet Zach Madem, I got to meet Patrick Switzer, Stryker. People from all over the world just showed up, and it was a great time. And the campsite was pretty cool too. Just being able to shoot the shit and cool down at the end of the day, go to the pool. Yeah, and the racing was cool too, I guess. Especially the finish. Holy crap, the finish was insane. The final was Spencer Smith, Patrick Switzer, Kevin Reimer, Alex Charlson, Zach Madem, and I think it was one more person. I don't remember who. Yeah, they're coming around the last left corner. Zach and Alex are neck and neck. Kevin's right behind Alex trying to make a pass at the last second. Patrick Switzer and Spencer are literally like within 10 feet of them, coming around the corner with as much speed as they possibly can. And Zach and Alex are just charging into the finish line, shoulder to shoulder, kind of like battling to just get across the finish line first. And they both crossed at literally the same time. It was insane. Like I've never seen a heat that came that close, and it was amazing. Like seeing how heated it was and how quiet it got right after the race ended. It was just like, oh shit, how are we gonna find out who won? It was that close, and it was such a cool send off to the Festival of Speed. Like couldn't have asked for a better race final. Seeing Kevin Reimer trying to like finally get his like win at Maryhill, and Zach made him just like holding it down and just like saying, no, this is mine. America's getting this motherfucker. And then Alex Charleston, some Grom from Vancouver, just being like, wild card as fuck. I'm about to take your shit, Zach. And it was so sick, so cool. So really glad I got to experience that. I'll talk about some other moments from that event as well. Really liked skating the mini ramp there that Drang made. It was a good time. A couple years later, the Maryhill Ratz picked up the race, and it was the showdown at the Loops. I remember going to that event and just kind of hanging out. This time they also had a skate ramp at the bottom of the hill, but it was super mini taco skate ramp. And the final was heated. It was a bunch of Brazilians. I think Billy Bones was in the final, and I think Zach was as well, and Max Caps. And yeah, it was just like Brazil versus like America, like full throttle. I did see the final heat, and it was heated. I'm pretty sure Max Caps got second, and I think Tiago, or maybe it wasn't Tiago, maybe it was Carlos Pacquiao got first. Yeah, and lots of gnarly crashing going down that week. That was a pretty heated race. People were getting after it in the time trials. Some people go down pretty freaking hard. Yeah, it was tough. Another race that happened, which is honestly my most favorite race that I've ever been to so far, was the Tour de Maryhill race that happened last year in 2019, not 2020. We don't count that. Maryhill Ratz threw this event. I helped throw hay and corner marshal, and yeah, it was just such a roots event. Like the hype was kind of like unspoken, and everyone who came was just there to enjoy the hill and race for racing's sake and just do it. And everyone kind of came out with like the really good attitude of like, this is a great hill. Everyone here is here to race, and let's just have a good race. And the vibe was super mellow. The Maryhill Ratz hired like a massage therapist to give racers massages at the campsite. We got to camp at the bottom of the hill, which is the first in my book for Maryhill. And like, really, it was just so neat to just sit down and have conversations with like some like OG racers, and just like have like a heart to heart with them, and not have to deal with all the bullshit of like the fandom and the autograph signing. And it was just like a very community oriented kind of downhill skateboarding race where I've never felt more connected to the community and the big dogs in the community and the racing industry and the racing scene more so than that event. So yeah, Maryhill Ratz are killing it lately with the events and the racing. And now I guess we'll just finish it off. We'll talk about some of my most memorable Maryhill moments. So I just want to start off with the bad, and then we'll get to the good. So Maryhill Festival of Speed 2015. I'm with the Wilkinsons. We're camping over at the Goldendale State Park, where all the racers' campsite is at. And skate bus is there, Sunset Sliders bus is there. We're skating around, having a good time, just like lurking. I think people are like playing music and like playing like dice and shit and just having a good time. One of those nights, it was around 2 in the morning, some tweakers snuck into the racers' campsite through the stream that was behind the racers' campsite. Somehow they had walked down the stream. These were like some local tweakers from Goldendale. They met up with some of the skaters who were kind of like late partying, a little fucked up. These tweakers just kind of like came into the campsite and just like jacked a bunch of gear. Like they stole a bunch of leathers from people. They broke onto the PDX skate bus and stole some boards with like precision trucks and like wheels. They stole a lot of money was worth of stuff from the skaters. When these guys met up with the skaters in the canal, apparently they said like they were kind of boasting. They were like trying to intimidate the skaters, and the skaters were kind of fucked up. So that plays into it as well. But they said we're here to kill skaters. That didn't really bode over well. So I'm sleeping. I just hear screaming and roaring, and everyone just starts waking up and screaming and freaking out. And before I know it, the whole campsite's awake and running outside their tents to seeing what happens. And there's like 50 skaters and like tearing after these like 5 or 6 like tweakers, just like chasing them out of the skate like campsite after they had said this and stolen a bunch of shit. That was pretty intense. That was a very unwelcome vibe at that campsite after that, and it sucked. A bunch of Brazilians who were here abroad got their shit stolen, and a lot of skaters felt unsafe because some random tweaker dudes came in and threatened to kill some skaters, and that was a fucked up night. But no one got hurt. Some shit got stolen. That's it. Okay, so like down at the river, there is a campsite called Peach Beach, and it's like a skater kind of campsite where it's not actually a state park, but a lot of skaters go down there and they camp. We're down there one night. It's a full moon. Someone had brought out speakers. Drinks are flowing. The fire's raging. People are hyped. Me and my friend Ryan Villa get up on the mic and just start rapping about Maryhill, rapping about skateboard life, just like shredding on the mic. And the whole campsite was just like listening, cheering, just like vibing out with our little like rap. We had like some beats going. We're just like rapping into the fucking mic, and everyone was digging it. It was so cool. Just such a cool feeling. And then like another year at another free ride, we went to another campsite called Ant City, and also we had a mic and some speakers, and we started rapping and having like a big like circle, and people were just rapping back and forth like with the mic, and it was like good. Like it actually got pretty good, which is funny because like you wouldn't really think like skaters who do downhill skateboarding are like rappers, but apparently we have some sort of creativity that inspires us to like put words together that sound dope. And yeah, it was pretty fucking rad to just like rap out with the friends at the campsite right before like the next day of riding. And yeah, those are like the moments we live for, right? Just awesome nights at the campsite with all of our homies from all over the world, about to go skate some rad runs the next day. Another really cool moment, it was my first free ride that I'd been to, and a bunch of Texans had come through, and they brought these like gnarly assault rifles and guns, and they were just shooting rocks and like shooting targets into the rocks near the campsite. And it was really cool to just like be there and shoot some big ass guns. That was like my first time shooting big ass guns. And then we hiked up the cliff and got up to the very top of this cliff overlooking the Columbia River Gorge above the campsite. And we were just hanging out, shooting the shit, just like on the edge of the world, throwing big ass boulders off these cliffs. Down below there was just train tracks and like a big pit. So the rocks were just going into the pit. Everything was fine. No one got hurt. And yeah, it's just a really cool, unique place to be at the top of a cliff with a bunch of skaters from all over the world tossing rocks off a cliff. From those moments, Another moment, I remember it was my buddy Brandon's first time to Maryhill. This was after I left Idaho. He had come from Idaho to skate Maryhill, and just seeing his face and his expression after his first run at the bottom of the hill was just awesome. Like I knew that he would just have a fucking rip, and to finally see that become a reality of him getting to skate that run was just like something special, and I fucking will remember that. It was just so cool. Fuck yeah, Brandon, dude. Hope to see you at another one soon. Yeah, just bring your homies to the hill. Show them what's up. It'll give them a really fucking good time, I'll tell you what. One more moment, it was at the Tour de Maryhill Racers campsite. after qualifying, the day before racing, I was just like walking around the campsite, talking to people, you know, having some brewskis with some people that I didn't really know, and like I come across Zach Madem, John Rogers, and Kyle Martin. They're just having beers behind a van, and I say, hey, can I join you guys for some beers? And they're like, yeah, dude, sit down. So it was just really invited to like come and hang out with these dudes, and didn't really know much about them or who they were, just had like seen them in skate videos, but we got to talking and shooting the shit, and it was really cool to just finally like open up and have a real heart-to-heart conversation with these guys, and just let them know, like, you know, it's rad that they're still skating and still getting after it, and like how much influence their videos have had, their skating has had on my like skateboarding career, and just like hearing their stories and like hearing their reactions to each other's stories, and just like sharing like, you know, moments of our skateboarding careers and our lives at this race with each other, like egos completely left in the dust, just having a good conversation with these dudes. It was just awesome, and definitely a moment I'll cherish for life. Here's to more of those. Fuck yeah, Maryhill. You've given us so much, and if you ever go to Maryhill, you'll feel it. There's just the energy at Maryhill is palpable. There's just so much good vibes that have accumulated in space over time at Maryhill that it never goes away. Whenever you're there, you can just feel the energy from decades ago of people having good times on their skateboards, high fives. Like when a million high fives happen at a hill, the energy doesn't just go away. You know, that energy that comes from a clap just stays in the air, and eventually when you're there, it seeps into you and you can feel it. Just gets me riled up even thinking about it right now. Like, that's just some energy you can't get anywhere else. It's one of those special places. I've heard people saying the same thing about Giant's Head, saying the same thing about Newton's Nation at Bathurst, and just apparently there's some really cool energy centers around the world where people gather and have really good fucking times, and that energy just stays around for life. So, guys, go check out Maryhill. If there's a free ride this year in 2021, highly recommend you go check it out. Definitely go race Maryhill. You'll have a great time. Come say hi. Let's have a fucking beer. Shoot the shit over some fucking runs. Let's get some pack runs in. Yeah, guys, Maryhill, very special place. Super stoked to have had the opportunity to take part in helping out with the Maryhill Ratz crew and giving people a opportunity to like come skate it and learn about it, and just, yeah, right place, right time. Fuck yeah, skateboarding. Peace.